Hello everyone, welcome back to Guardian Diaries. This is our third video. I'm Raven Phoenix. For those of you who know me and who has been responding to our videos, thank you for all the emails and thank you for all the interest in our videos. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Raven Phoenix, as I said. Maybe you've seen my videos of my talents and what I do. Some people call me a clairvoyant, some people call me a psychic. I don't like none of those titles because I'm not full clairvoyant, I'm not a full medium, and I'm not a full psychic. I truly don't know what I am. My gifts, I see mostly past events in someone's life. I have been used at crime scenes by police in the past. I do see who committed crimes. I have been looking into missing children. I have found a few victims and located their bodies. I am simply a messenger. I don't like any other title but messenger. And the purpose for these videos is I can hear my guardian, much as a lot of other gifted people. But Julia, she is my guardian, and she has wanted me to start telling you what she tells me. And I was really scared to do these videos for the simple fact somebody would call me a liar or crazy, or I get a crazy person to chase me or something. But that's happened already. But that's another story. But Julia told me, she calls me little one. She says if we can reach one person, ignite a fire in that person's very being, which is their soul, their essence, to want to find their guardians or their angels, whatever you want to call them, to connect with their higher power, then we've done our job. And that is what I'm here to do. I am a messenger for my guardian, Julia. And she wants me to talk about lack. I was Saturday at a yard sale. This is a perfect example of lack in a person's life. Lack of understanding, lack of wisdom. The yard sale I went to, I live in a very small town, and it was one of my clients. He was a sort of a promoter, and he was going to find me a promoter for what I do. But when his wife had found out what I am, she had forbidden him to ever come around me again. I did not know this at the time. I went to the yard sale, and apparently she didn't know who I was until I asked, is your husband home or is he on the road? She realized who I was, and she was scared, upset, literally ran away from me. She didn't know what to do. And I was very surprised by this because I had no idea anything was wrong. So I left. And Julia told me, she says, this is the perfect lack. Lack of understanding, lack of tolerance. This is what Julia is wanting to talk about, is lack of understanding of things that scare you or you do not understand hinders the growth of your spirituality. Not tolerating others that are different than you hinders your growth of your spirituality. There's many people, good people, white spirits. And as I've reminded y'all before, when we say white spirits, black spirits, gray spirits, we are not talking about race or skin color. We are talking about the spirit world in our beings that are in our human bodies. So, a lot of good spirits are attached to darker gray spirits. And these darker gray spirits weigh on the good one. They want to change the good one's outlook on life to a dimmer one. They want to hinder their spiritual growth by abusing them physically and mentally, by making them think that the dark spirit is bigger and better than the good spirit. We see this in a lot of relationships, and a lot of spiritual growth has stopped from being too scared to leave the dark spirit, being too scared of what the dark spirit would think if you thought for yourself. These are all lack in some force, dark forces, should I say, to hinder your spiritual growth. So, Julia is also wanting to say that she's seen our world get a little bit brighter lately. There is a spiritual movement, per se, happening amongst us, as she calls us, the human race. She says we're starting to question things we're told to believe in. We're told to not question our parents, not question our church, not question the whys, just accept them and live. But Julia says people are starting to question, where they're starting to find answers for themselves, and therefore their spiritual beings are growing again. And this is very good, because she says we are in a very dark world, and as many lights we can put in the world will extinguish the dark, which we've heard that said a lot. Julia wants to talk about strength of the inner being. Abuse is weighing heavily on Julia. Some abuse victims are the strongest spirits of the world. They endure the abuse, the mental and physical abuse, but yet they think they're weak. But yet they stay in the same relationship day after day, week after week, month after month, enduring the pain, the abuse, and they see themselves as weak. Julia wants to tell everybody that is an abusive relationship, you are not weak. Your soul and your being is very strong for enduring what you've been enduring. She has asked me to let you know your guardians, your angels, whatever you choose to call them, are there. Ask for help. Ask for what you need. But some of them will not intervene unless you ask. And a lot of people do not know this. They run around thinking they're lost and alone. And the truth is, we're never alone. We may be lost in this dark world, but we have the power to bring the light to it. Ask for help from your guardians. Ask for whatever you need. And be silent, because the next voice you hear may be your guardians. All guardians will communicate if you just listen. Children are more accepting of talking to your angels, to your guardians. Every time I do a reading, every time I go to a home and there's a child, first thing I do, I ask the children, do you know how to talk to your angels? I do not leave anyone's home without teaching that child how to communicate with their angels. For the simple fact, if they grow up young, start young, communicating with their angels, they won't grow up to be a self-centered, narrow-minded adult. And for so many of us that when we were kids, we had imaginary friends. We seen our angels. We talked to our guardians. And when we would tell our parents, they would tell us that we were lying, or their imagination is playing tricks on us, or just go away and play. So therefore, we shut down that part of our brain. Every one of us, you may not remember it, but every one of us has had an imaginary friend, which was a spirit or your angel. And we did communicate. We all have the power to communicate with them. But we just blocked it out because we were told it wasn't real. And the simple fact, a lot of this life is nothing more than an illusion. Fear is an illusion. Stress is an illusion. If we start looking inward, listening to our own little voice in our head, which is usually your guardian, like I've said before. If we start listening to our own instincts, our own feelings, stop going with the crowd, stop running with the pack. Because 90% of the time, the pack will lead you astray. It bothers Julia. She calls us a family. The human race is a family, she says. And we all are right now in human bodies, but we are spiritual beings. And it really bothers her that we hate each other because of our differences, because of our skin color. We won't stop to help somebody less fortunate because they're usually too greedy to give up their money or to buy somebody something. And human race, as she says, is very self-centered, very greedy, very violent. And from a guardian's point of view, nobody will accept there's other worlds besides the one that they see. And it hinders a lot of help from the guardians for a lot of people. And this is very upsetting to the guardians that they cannot do anything to help because people just don't believe in them anymore. And guardians, about the guardians, Julia also says there's a misconception, and she would like people to know this. I mean, I've read many books, and many authors have said guardians and angels are other beings. They have no feelings. They don't understand our pain or our emotions. And Julia says they do feel our emotions. They do understand pain. When we hurt, they hurt. They walk through the fire with us. They understand how we feel. They understand the traumas we are going through. Yes, they do feel. And Julia would just like people to know that guardians are not beings that have no feelings. They have all of the same feelings we do. They are just more wiser than we are. And we can learn to be more on a spiritual path if we just ask for help. Julia says, not stepping on anybody's toes. Please, I know my email's going to blow up. I'm not trying to make anybody mad or upset. This is strictly from a guardian. She says very much, okay, I'm just going to say it. So, talking about spiritual lack, spiritual stuff stopping, or spiritual growth. Religion is stopping a lot of spiritual growth. A lot of our religions, she says, is from a human's point of view. They're about control. They're about telling you how to think, how you should connect with your higher power, what is right and what is wrong. And Julia says, religions do stop your spiritual growth because they're not letting you find your own answers. They're not letting you blossom. They're not letting you branch out. They're not letting you question why. And it's okay to branch out, and it's okay to find your own answers, and it's okay to ask why. There's many different religions, and there's not one religion that is the right, true religion. I'm sorry to say, I might lose a lot of viewers, but this is strictly from Julia. You and I and everybody needs to be religious in whatever way you wish to. But listen to your being inside. When you read something or you hear something and it doesn't ring true to you, then most of the times it's not. That's when you should look for your own answers. Read everything you can read, study everything you can study, and form your own opinion. And stop hating those that are not your religion or don't believe the same as you do. As Julia says, we are a family. We are supposed to be helping each other, not killing each other, not tearing each other down, not abusing our children. It's not supposed to be this way. If humans would take off the blinders and stop being narrow-minded and thinking they know it all, they would learn a lot. But it starts with you, each one of us. Do we want to keep spreading darkness in a world that is already dark? Or do we want to stand up, be what we were created to be, and light our fires, as Julia puts, in our souls? What Julia's trying to say, she's talking so fast, I'm sorry. What Julia's trying to say is, if you listen to your own soul, to your own being, to your intuition, to your feelings, you will learn a lot. If you ask for help, you will receive it. And Julia wasn't saying religion is wrong, by no means. She was just saying, pay attention to what you're being told. Listen to your own being within you, your own feelings, and then make your own decision. But don't believe in anything just because you're told to. And you don't investigate it, and you don't study it, and you don't really understand it. You were just raised to believe a certain way. Julia wants us all to find our own answers. Find out why a religion started, how a religion started, why we were raised to believe one way or another. and go with your own opinions, because your very spiritual growth is your own. You're not to put your spiritual growth in anybody else's hands but your own. And with the right guidance from your guardians, your angels, God, whatever you wish to call it, in your own knowing, everybody has a knowing, this world would be a little better place. As Julia likes to say, love is the key, and stop hating just because people are different than you. For now, we're going to conclude this video. Thank you for watching. Feel free to email me or contact me. Thank you very much, and have a good night.